Hello. So it never fails to do a video and then you realize all the things that you forgot that you wanted to add to it. So I wanted to just go over a couple things. First of all, I noticed when I rewatched the video that the audio cut out when I was switching the camera around when I was talking about the razor. So basically what happens when you have your surgery, they shave the skin of any hair and stuff, and over time it starts to grow back, and sometimes it'll get caught in the adhesives, and it can cause some skin irritation and things like that. So if your hair starts growing back, if you have, hair in your stomach, um, that they recommend to use an electric razor, just to protect the skin, because you can get, like razor burn and ingrown hairs and stuff more readily with a regular razor versus an electric one. Plus, it's a lot safer for around your stoma, because of how fragile that skin is. You don't want to cut it and stuff like that. And then also, when I did mention about the bleeding on my stoma, that sometimes, like when you're rubbing and stuff like that, it'll bleed a little bit. A little bit is normal. But if you have like a lot of bleeding, or if you have blood in your output, then that's obviously something that you want to call your doctor as soon as possible, and possibly even go into the ER to get it checked out. Because it can mean a variety of things, from a complication with the surgery, a blockage, a hernia, issues like that. So things like that, always consult your doctor first. So let's see here. The other thing too is, if you do have a little skin irritation, um, like with the hairs and stuff like that too, you can do the calamine lotion. I'm just gonna take it easy here, and so you can use calamine lotion to kind of help with any like that skin irritation, things like that. Let's see. Oh, as far as the peri bottles, so what I do is, when I have like thicker output, I will use the peri bottle to kind of flush out my bag. You don't have to, but it is something that is really helpful, just to kind of help clean everything out. So what I do is I take, some warm water in the peri bottle, and, I'll empty out what I can, and then I'll squirt some water into my bag at the bottom, and I'll kind of hold up the end so it doesn't, come out the bottom, and just kind of, like shake it a little bit basically, and kind of mix it around, and then it will empty out of your bag a lot easier. As far as ileostomy, it's mostly more liquidy. Sometimes mine is like really, really liquidy, like straight water. And then other times it's more of like a paste, like frosting. And then if you have a colostomy, that's more similar to like a regular bowel movement, because it's gone through the large intestines, and more of that water is taken out and absorbed into the body. So it's more of like a regular, bowel movement and stuff, than the liquid output with having an ostomy. The other thing, just to clarify, the skin around your stoma, they call that your peristoma skin. And then that's something that they might reference. And then let's see here. Um, as far as, having the support system, I mean, if you've got a partner, great, or a friend that can stay with you for a little bit, because sometimes then you can kind of hold the gauze, and they can kind of help clean you up, and, get the prep going with the appliance change. But, not everyone has someone that can be with them. So, like, for me, I went through a lot of my cancer treatment on my own. I mean, I had a home health nurse that came out, sometimes once or twice a week, depending on what I needed. And I had a friend come stay with me for a little bit, and my mom, tried when she could get off work to come down, because she lives a little further away. But, I mean, sometimes you're completely on your own, so you've got to figure out ways to do it, and, adjust, and it can be so overwhelming. So that's why I want to do these videos, to kind of help, spread a little awareness, some education, and kind of help, support other people that are, going through things and stuff. The other thing too is, sorry, I'm new at making videos, and sometimes when I'm more tired, I say a lot, so just bear with me. So I apologize. Um, Unfortunately, I'm having one of those nights where I just can't sleep. Little update from my cancer. Let's see, I had my ileostomy on August 25th, and then I started my cancer treatment. I was stage 3 anal cancer. And I started treatment September 11th. I did radiation Monday through Friday every day, for, what was it, I think 28 or 29 days. And then the first week I had chemo. On Monday, I had mitomycin injection. It's a purple chemo. It's kind of cool. So they do that injection, and then they connected a pump to my PICC line that I had in my arm, and I did chemo at home until Friday, and then I would go in and get it, the pump removed and stuff, and then we tried to keep the PICC line in, so that way I could go get fluids during radiation when I needed it, but I ended up getting an infection the second week and was in the hospital. That was I had chemo mouth sores to the point where I couldn't even drink water, and then I also had the neutropenic fever at that point. So I was in the hospital for a few days. So then they ended up taking the PICC line out, but otherwise I would just do a daily flush at home, and then the home health care nurse would help do the change. Every week they would, take off all the bandages, and, you'd have to be sterile, to do that and everything else. So it was nice to have them to be able to come to my house and do it right at home. So I had, treatment went through October 19th. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks afterwards with wound care, which I'll talk about in another video. And it was after treatment that I really started to get sick. I managed to get through treatment without throwing up as much. I was actually gaining weight, which is good. But I've really struggled the last few months with being sick, throwing up a lot. I went from 220 pounds to down to 190 in a matter of weeks. So it was quite a big drop. And I finally started getting my strength back. I'm not throwing up every day, which is good. But now I'm struggling with insomnia. So today it's 6 in the morning and I'm still awake. I'm tired, but when I try to sleep, I'm just laying there wide awake. So I figured instead of staring at the ceiling, I'd make some videos. So that's what I'm kind of doing today. And let's see. So, the other thing I forgot to mention is when you get done with your bag change, you can use a heating pad, and, it kind of helps warm up that econ ring and the adhesive to make it stick. Or you can just, hold your hand over on top of it to kind of help warm it up. The econ ring too, that was the part that was sticking up through the wafer once I had it on. And not the wafer, so it was the econ ring. And you can get different varieties. There's econ rings, there's paste, there's putty that you can mold, because some people have crevices or dips or, different body types that need, those adjustments to get a better seal with their appliance. And then too, if you have a lot of skin irritation, I guess there's sheets that they can put down, or almost like a gauze type thing to protect your skin from the adhesive. Because it is, sometimes it can be really corrosive, especially if you get the leaking. We call that skin breakdown. And it's where that the peristoma skin starts to break down from the stool because it's, more acidic. And it just makes your skin really raw. So that's why we do the stoma powder and, some of the other things to kind of help clean that up. So that's what some of those are for. And let's see. As far as the different creams that I mentioned, some of the things you can get are like a bacterial infection or a fungal infection, yeast infection. So there's, different things that can happen with having a stoma that can be the cause of the irritation. So that's why I also mentioned too that you should really contact your doctor first, because they can determine, if it's just stoma output or if it's something more serious that they need to address with, specific items and stuff like that too. So that's, good thing to check on. And then as far as the, the lotions and things like that, sometimes your skin will dry out and it needs a break. So some people will, take their bag off for a bit and apply some skin lotion, the coconut oil, things like that. Take a, hot shower. Technically the bags are waterproof, so you can have your bag on when you take a shower. You can go swimming, you can go in a hot tub, things like that. So, I mean, you don't have to take your bag off for a shower. Sometimes, I don't want to mess with the output while I'm taking a shower, but if I do take a shower, I have some tips with that. So what I do is I take an extra washcloth into the shower, and I already lay out a towel and some of those, what was it, the underpads that can go on the floor. And so when I get done with my shower, I try to cover up the stoma, and, even just, wrap a towel around my waist, basically. And then I get out of the shower, with still covering the stoma. And then I'll try to, just cover up, the areas that I can and do my bag change. And then, if I have some go down my leg or whatever, then I clean it up and stuff. But it's just easier because sometimes you need that little de-stress to, they call it taking a naked shower. And it can be really relaxing to have, that warm water going over your skin and not having that bag because, you're not used to it. So your body's got to adjust, and sometimes it's nice to just, let everything go and do it that way. And, and like I said, sometimes I, will listen to music while I'm taking a shower or just anything just to kind of take my mind off and rest. So let's see. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about, let's see. I had a couple notes that I wrote down. Oh, the skin barrier wipes. So basically those help protect your skin. It creates a layer so that way your skin is protected from the adhesive and then the stoma output. Because, like I said, it's more acidic. So that's another thing that helps with those skin barriers. And then when you do the stoma powder, you can, squirt some of that powder and then you can kind of wave at it to kind of blow off some of the excess. And then you can use that skin barrier wipe to kind of blot, make that paste. And, again, if you're having output and you can't get the stoma paste, just do the best you can and put your appliance on, and then you can, do the stoma powder and just do a bag change sooner, maybe in 2 or 3 days versus, 5 to 7. So that way, it'll kind of maybe get you a little bit of a break and you can at least, let the bag get on there. And then, let me see, I've got a couple things over here. So, let me get this. One thing I didn't mention was, depending on what you're eating, like if you have soda or things like that, you can get like a gas buildup. So basically what happens is your bag will get really blown up. And I'm going to see if I can hold the phone with my knees. Let's see. Yep, I think that'll work. Okay, so what you can do is, I've got the little tabs on the side that I hook my bag on, and there's one up here. So that one, you can just pull it just a little bit, and it will open up, and then you can use that to what we call burp the bag, or get rid of some of that air. The biggest thing is make sure you're sitting up, because I did this once. I was laying down, wasn't even thinking, and my bag was just all blown up. And I went to burp it, and the output came out the top and all over. So I've learned to sit up, and then you can burp it and let some air out, because then it's a little bit easier too when you empty it out. The other thing that I had during treatment was, they called it high output bag. Unfortunately, I'm having issues, with Edge Park that I get my supplies through. And, so the first bag that they sent me has this type of opening. And this opening doesn't connect with the attachments that I have. So, sometimes what I would do is just seal the bottom, and I would still have a bigger bag. You can see the comparison. Let me take this one off. So you can see it's, it's a little bit wider. So then you can, have more in this bag. But what it's supposed to do is connect to a longer tube, which, oh, hang on. So the end of the tube looks like this, and it goes through a tube, and then empties out into this bag. And so then everything would go into here, and then you can pop this bottom and empty it out into the toilet. It was really great when I was having, like really liquidy output. When I was sick a lot, I was getting up to go change my bag or empty out my bag like every hour. So I was not sleeping. But unfortunately, I can show you the bags that they sent me do not fit. And I called Edge Park and I gave them the correct bag number, and I realized that they actually gave me another box of these. Identical. So now I have 20 of the Hosen bags and no bags to attach to my stoma. So Yeah, it's a little frustrating sometimes when you're ordering stuff, but it happens. And, and again, you can contact the other companies to get, samples and supplies and stuff from other ones to see, what's going to work better. So at least I know that, I have options if, what I'm using now isn't working. And, yeah, so I think that's about it for this video. I kind of rehashed some stuff from the other one that I missed. I don't know, I'm hoping to try to get some sleep today. I just, some days are good and some days are bad, and some days I can't rest. So, oh, I look a little rough, and my hair's kind of, spiked up and just kind of doing whatever it's gonna do. But, yeah, at least it's starting to grow back. So, like I say, day at a time. Anyways, well, I am going to take care of a couple of the other things and hopefully try to get some sleep. But just wanted to update with that other additional information. So, you guys have a great day.